One of the most commonly seen suits of power armor in the wasteland, partly thanks to the Brotherhood of Steel, is the T-60 model of power armor. And despite it being one of the most produced and popular units out there, its history has been lost to time. Although the lore of this armor hasn't yet been fully recorded, I will do my best to present all the known information on this model.
There are tales littered all across the wastelands of the old world. Within these tales are secrets, knowledge, and legends waiting to be told. I've traversed the boneyards of once great cities to collect these chronicles of post-apocalyptia. Some of these stories are beyond logical reasoning. Are these just radiation-poisoned brains conjuring up these myths, or is there some truth to be found in them? Only you can decide, as we step into the haze of Wastelord's legends.
While it is unknown exactly when the T-60 was created, I estimate it was after June of 2076 and before October of 2077. I chose this time area as the T-51B was deployed in June of 2076 and the T-60 was actively fighting by October 23, 2077. While the T-60 model was the most recent and produced power armor pre-war, it certainly wasn't the pinnacle, as that title belongs to the T-51, which is stronger in all regards except for radiation protection. The reason for it being made, however, wasn't to compete with the impressive T-51, but rather because it was far easier to mass produce, making it the standard issue for America to manufacture with their limited resources. In the wasteland, the primary user of this armor is the Brotherhood of Steel, as after their war with the Enclave in the capital wasteland in 2277, they gained access to the Enclave's manufacturing resources and were then able to mass produce their power armor of choice, the T-60. By 2087, the East Coast Brotherhood of Steel had completely phased out all of their power armor suits from their ranks in favor of using one standard set of armor, which means maintenance, training, and upgrading can be much more seamless, yet it does mean identification has to be done so through color and insignia rather than through different suits. Moving on to the armor itself, it has many features of its predecessor, the T-45. Due to the design of the armor, it is safe to assume that many of the features of the T-45 are included in this model as well, such as the radiation scrubbers under the chest piece, as well as its weakness in the same area as the T-45, just under the chest's welded area. While this flaw can be fatal, it almost always isn't detrimental, as almost no wastelanders know about this flaw, nor do they have the armament to utilize this weak point, and those that do know seem to keep this secret to themselves, such as experienced Brotherhood members. Despite the suit's Achilles heel, it is an absolute mechanical menace, and due to its thick armor, it is far stronger than the T-45D. Much like the power armors that came before it, the T-60 is worn on top of a power armor frame, and is therefore capable of eliminating fall damage, holding serious amounts of gear, and has oxygen tanks. The armor itself includes radiation scrubbers, a headlight, a comm system, an air filter, a rangefinder, a voice modulator, and a Pip-Boy HUD integration system linked to the power armor frame. Looking at the armor itself, it is very rigid and has rings on its pauldrons, much like the T-45, which allows for easier transportation and deployment. A little known fact about this armor that is included in the T-51B is it has a waste filtration system, which allows the users to drink their pee in needed circumstances. By 2296, 9 years after the Brotherhood's arrival in the Commonwealth, they had developed and deployed their own variant of T-60, which had many improvements over the original model. Visually, the power armor looks identical, except for the helmet. It looks more like a mix of T-45 and T-60. The helmet is shorter, thicker, and has a much wider visor, and the flashlight is lower on the helmet. While it certainly doesn't look as cool, it is actually more useful than the original helmet. For instance, the visors being bigger may sacrifice a negligible amount of safety, but it offers far more vision to the user, allowing them to hit more targets and just see better in general. The helmet being shorter just means it's more compact and harder to hit. But the most useful aspect of this helmet has to be its ability to open its faceplate, allowing the user to be unencumbered by the helmet's presence while still being far safer than removing it. This is historically important to the Brotherhood, as their soldiers tend to wear their armor without their helmets, which isn't safe in combat, and is how their first leader, Roger Maxson, was killed, as he was grazed in the neck by a poison-tipped arrow. The armor also features a mount for the Brotherhood's T-60 pistol, allowing the user a ranged weapon when in need. The most impressive upgrade to this power armor, however, is the flight capability the Brotherhood added to the suit. The arms of the suit now have rockets that allow for impressive flight without the hindrance of a jetpack on the back of the armor. While aerial warfare isn't possible due to the location of the propulsion systems, it does allow the user to cover great distances or scale hard-to-reach areas, as well as perform sneak attacks from above. While the standard model is by no means a better suit than the T-51B, it certainly has its benefits, such as being easier to standardize and produce, as well as just looking good. If you are ever able to get your hands on one of these suits, be sure to learn how to operate it, and once you are able to do that, stay away from any pre-war ghouls, as you never know which one of them knows its weakness.
There was a flaw in the welding, just below the chest plate. I wonder if they fix that in this new model.
Thank you all so much for watching this broadcast. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and consider subscribing, as I will be making every Power Armor's lore and covering them all and doing all that cool stuff, including like Power Armors from Fallout 76, like the Atomic Shop, because like the Vertiguard Power Armor, like you expect me not to cover that? That looks so sick. We're going to be doing that for sure. And yeah, so if you guys want to subscribe, do so, because I'll be making more. And with all that said, may the Wasteland treat y'all with peace and prosperity.